"What's your name?" a voice asked over and over. She wouldn't tell them. They asked that in rehabilitation. "What's your name? What's your name?" to see if you remembered. Her head hurt. Slow waves of pain. "That's Amy," Axel said. He was trying to help her, to make them quit hurting her. He had come back for her. She couldn't remember when. Water was running down her face. Tears. Her eyes were burning with them. "We want her to tell us her name, Michael. To wake her up. It's been 3 days now," a woman said. "She's tired. She's just sleeping." It was Axel's voice. Amy was sure of that. Why did they call him that other name? "Amy, wake up! Amy!" He was squeezing her hand. She tried to squeeze back, but it took so much effort that she gave up and fell asleep again. Voices murmured in her dreams. Endless dreams, dark and frightening, pointless. Her nose itched, and she scratched it. It itched again. "Bug," she heard herself whisper, and someone said, "No, me." She opened her eyes. The light was dim. James was sitting close by her bunk, his elbows on the mattress. She stared at him, not understanding how he'd gotten here. "Don't be afraid," he said. "We're safe. There are no bugs. Nothing bad. Not anymore." He was neat and clean and wearing a blue shirt. There were white bandages on both arms. They were clean too. His eyes were clear and full of peace. "No." He leaned forward and touched her cheek. He smelled of soap. "Don't go back to sleep. Not yet." It seemed important to him. "Am I awake?" she tried to ask. Her voice sounded strange, and she licked her lips. James reached over and got a glass of water from somewhere and put the straw in her mouth. Her lips felt like paper. "Drink. Very slowly." The water woke her up, cool and clear. She was in a strange room. There were pictures on the wall. Flowering plants grew by her window. The room was painted white, and she was covered with a yellow cloth. Everything was clean. As clean as James. As clean as her own arms, which lay stretched out on the cloth. "What's that tube in my arm?" She had just noticed it. The thing was taped against the inside of her left wrist, and it led to a shiny bottle of water hanging from a rack overhead. "Food," said James. "You could not eat. They had to give your body food." She considered that. "It looks like water." "Yes," James agreed. "Doesn't taste like it." "Is it good?" "Sweet." "Oh," she said. "Do you know my name?" "James." Had he forgotten his own name? "Do you know your name?" She stared at him. Poor man. "Amy. My name is Amy." "Yes." He smiled and patted her hand. "Where's Axel?" "In bed. Asleep. It's late at night." "Is he okay?" "A few burns. Weak, like us. But we're alive." That fact seemed to surprise him, she thought. Maybe if she thought about it more she would understand why. She turned her head and looked around the room. It was good to be able to see again. "Are you still awake?" "Yes." "I will tell you where we are, and how, so you know." "Okay." It would be nice to listen to a story. Her mind was drifting in and out of awareness. One of the boy's people saw the fire, way off in the dark, the hill burning. Then smoke came into the freight yards, from the tunnels. They thought the tunnels were burning. They came to see, and found us. He paused in his story to give her more water. "You were hurt the worst. Your head, and smoke breathing. They... 4 men, with a big green car." Amy was remembering now. "Yes, they have a big car. High wheels to carry them through mud and brush. We were put inside. I don't remember that. They told me so when I woke up. Here." "The Harry Crazies. Did they chase the car too?" James shook his head. "No, they were gone. All but one. Dead. They'd never seen a man like that before. Just heard of them, but didn't want to believe." He paused in thought. They went back to bury him, they said, and take pictures. But he was gone. We had to tell them over and over, the boy and I, how they look, how they make sounds, about their hair. They'll ask you, too. Are we with Axel's people? Yes. Is it like he said? I don't remember. It's good. You'll like it. Do they mind our being here? You and me? We could sneak away. No! For him, the tone was almost emphatic. They want us. They said so. Especially you. The boy told them how you came to get him and helped him come home. They cried. They come in here and watch you sleep, and they cry. He frowned. I don't know why they cry so much. Sometimes when I talk they cry. Or get angry. Not at me. I don't understand them sometimes. They cannot change what is, the city, the authorities, not without being cruel. And they seem kind. Amy couldn't follow all that. She bit her upper lip in muddled thought. Do they have food and water enough for us too? And a place to sleep? James's smile was her answer. It covered his whole face and made him look as young as he was. So much food. And a lake of water. Blue. Fountains. You will see, Amy. You never saw beautiful before. But you will see it. Beautiful land. Beautiful people. Big and strong and healthy. Will Axel be ashamed of us? She asked. We're not beautiful. And I don't know so many things. He called me stupid. No. He took both her hands and held them tight. Don't be afraid now. We've lived through the worst time of our lives. Anything will be better. We will be allowed to read. See? He reached over behind her bed and held up a book and then another, and then another. For you, to keep. Gifts from the people here, and for me too. He smiled. We can read anything. They'd let us do that? Learn anything? She looked at the books. They were clean and didn't smell. Yes, and there are more gifts. Flowers there. He pointed. And clothing. In the closet. And toys. All for you. What's a toy? He frowned, not able to explain, and then stood up slowly, favoring one leg. Are you hurt? Burned. Not bad. Just my feet and legs. He crossed the room to a door and slid it open. She saw he was wearing blue shorts, and his legs were mottled black and red scars from the knees on down. The lighting was too dim for her to see more than a blur of colors in the closet. James pushed clothes aside, then turned to her. The boy's mother said... He paused to remember the words. It was the custom to close your eyes and hold out your hands and get a surprise. So do that. Do what? Close your eyes. Then I tell you when to open them. She stared at him. What are you going to do? A surprise. A nice one. Okay. She closed her eyes and listened to him shut the closet door and come back to the bed, then felt something furry touch her hand. She jerked away, thinking of rats. Her eyes flew open. There, on the bed, regarding her with large black and white eyes, sat a round brown and beige animal with furry ears, a shiny nose, and a red cloth tongue. What is it? A teddy bear. It's a toy. She looked at it more closely and ran a finger over the furry ears and head. It felt good. What do I do with it? She said it was to sleep with, when you felt lonely. You hold it, and it helps you go to sleep. She said it keeps bad dreams away. Does it work? Yes, said James. I told her I had bad dreams and she gave me one. And it works. Mine's blue. Amy stared at the bear. It stared back, unblinking. The funny thing is, James continued, when I told her this morning that the teddy bear worked, she got tears in her eyes. She pretended she didn't, but I saw them. Amy didn't answer. She had pulled the bear up so she could pillow her cheek against its sturdy head. It felt soft and warm. She closed her eyes to think about all the things James had told her. She heard him ease back into his chair. James? Yes? Where will we live? Here? No, this is a medic's place. He gestured toward the window. Out there, with Michael's people. That's his name now, Michael. They have a big house, and we'll have our own rooms, with beds. I saw it today. He smiled again at the memory. What will we do here? Live. Live to be 100. The boy was right. They do. Amy was thinking again. If it's late at night, why aren't you in bed? He looked down at the floor, suddenly bashful. I came in to see you. The medic was tired. I said I'd sit with you. Call them if you woke. Oh. He remembered his promise and reached for the bell. Do you have to? Yes. No. It's okay? Yes. Besides, let her sleep. She can see you in the morning. He stretched his legs slowly. We'll talk, you and I. James? Yes? I'm very hungry. You are? He pushed himself up out of the chair again and winced. You won't fall asleep? Where are you going? To get food. I'll stay awake. Her stomach rumbled at the thought of something to eat. The more she thought about it, the wider awake she became. She watched James go out the door, watched the door slide shut behind him, and suddenly felt fear. She was all alone, in a very strange place. Suppose a stranger came in. What would she say to them? What if James didn't come back? She hugged the bear tight against her. Then the door slid open and she felt foolish. Food, James whispered. He carried a tray, and on it were a pile of things and 2 glasses of liquid. Sandwiches and ginger ale. Eat slowly, he cautioned, and she did. It tasted too good to swallow fast, but the odd thing was, for all she thought she was starved, she couldn't eat much, and she drank only half her ginger ale before she wanted to go to sleep again. She didn't tell James for fear he'd want to talk some more. She just closed her eyes. When she woke again, the tray was gone. James was snoring in his chair, her teddy bear sitting on his lap, watching her. She lay there listening to birds sing and watching dawn turn the window blue. The lawn outside came green with sunlight. The door slid open softly, and she turned her head to see Axel standing there. When he saw her looking at him, he began to grin. Are you awake? He whispered. Yes. Are you going to live? Yes. What sort of question is that? Without another word, he turned and ran out, leaving the door open. A few seconds later, she saw him running past the window, and as he ran, he shouted, Mom! Dad! Wake up! Everybody! Amy's going to live! It was over. The whole long daydream about going outside was ended. She was here, and it was nothing like she'd imagined it to be. The world in Janet's battered book was gone as surely as those pages. But like the woman in her book, this world was real and offered hope, and she would make it hers. It might take a while, Amy thought, and it might be hard, but she had come up from level 9, and after that, anything was easy.